A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. There's a lot to talk about tonight, so we get straight into it. There's cricket on the menu. On the menu tonight, we'll also talk about squash in Nigeria. We'll take a look at the year just gone by and, of course, the plans for 2021. We'll also take a look at what is currently going on in England, the FA Cup. We'll look at the matches. We'll also take a look at Sepp Blatter, the news around the former FIFA president. Then we'll spend a lot of time to talk about football on the domestic scene. The NPFL will get our attention. And, of course, we'll also talk about the one that felt like a blow in the stomach today, the draws for the Caf Confederation Cup. And it turns out that the Aba Elephants, talking about Enyimba, would meet the winner of the game between Bloemfontein Celtics and Rivers United. Of course, a lot of us expect that Rivers United will win in that one, and it'll just, it all means that at the end of the day, we might just have one Nigerian team in the group stage. But of course, Rivers United need to win that game first, even though a lot of us feel they will win that game. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. We'll want you to sit back, relax, as we take you on the strip across the money spinning world of sports. We're going to make brief stops in quite a number of places to give you different perspectives on all of the things, exciting things happening in the world of sports. So once again, I welcome you to the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce my partner with me in the Lagos studio. Seun Ajidagba joins us tonight. And Seun, it's good to have you with me again tonight.
Happy New Year, Yemi.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure being here. So let's talk sports.
All right. So we're talking sports. That's what we're doing. Let's talk cricket. Your man, Asanka Gurusingh, everybody's talking about him. You know, you were on the show when he came, you talked about him. And he's been talking about his plans, what he hopes to do. Nobody's talking about his credentials. He needs, you shouldn't be talking about somebody who has done a lot for cricket. But is now in the role, and he's been talking about his plans for Nigerian cricket. Let's quickly listen to him and allow Seun react to some of the things the handler of Nigeria's cricket team is talking about. So allow Seun react immediately. We'll listen to what Asanka Gurusingh has to say about his plans for Nigerian cricket.
With my plans, we're just finalizing all the plans that is needed. And just waiting to see some confirmation on the tournaments that's going to happen, which is the Under-17 National Tournament, the National Festival, and then the Africa Cup in March. So that's the initial part of my focus. So as soon as we know some other dates, we'll start, players will start preparation. But at this stage, players have been given fitness programs, and I'm in touch with all the players weekly to see how they're going. So I can see they're very enthusiastic and focusing and driving that fitness program. So when we meet the next time, it'll be more on skill.
All right. So when I meet next time, it's going to be more on skill. The kind of words you expect from a man who's just entering into his role, and it seems to be a bit enthusiastic about some of the things he's seen about Nigerian cricketers.
Well, based on what the Nigerian Caf Confederation said, after appointing Deshabandu Asanka Pradeep Gurusingh, they came out to say that they had 32 people apply for this job, but they were convinced about what Asanka brought to the table. Don't forget that he's not only our coach, he's also our high performance director. And if you have been the former selector in Sri Lanka, national team selector, and you're a World Cup winner, and you've played at the highest level, then you've got experience. But like I said, he first had to work on their fitness. Because in playing the game of cricket, you need some level of fitness. Case in point, even the shortest format in cricket, which is the T20, you still have to face minimum of 120 balls in a 20 overs game. That means all other things being equal is 6 balls per over. So if you are batting, you are facing 120 good balls. And if you are a bowler, you are expected to bowl like 4 overs or 3 overs. So you need those fitness. As a fielder, you need fitness. As a wicket keeper, you need fitness because you'll be squatting, you'll be crouching. As a batsman, you need to stay long in the batting crease. And as a bowler, you need all the pace. Either you're a spin bowler, either you're a pace bowler, you you need fitness. So he said when they now finish, they will now start working on the skills, which for me is perfect, because once you have fitness and then they can work on your skills, you'll be a better player. Like we say, in human kinetics, there's a difference between fitness and physical fitness. People are fit, but some are physically fit. Okay. And when you are physically fit, it means you have the ability to do your work and still have enough energy to do unforeseen. So for me, fantastic.
All right.
And it's going to be coach at all levels.
At all levels.
Not to say we don't have coaches at under 17, but he'll be acting in that supervisory capacity
for Nigeria. So that's a good one. I can allow Seun go on and on. I mean, just breaking it down for us. So we'll do more of that, talk about all of that. But let's get some perspective now. It's time to talk about squash on the show tonight. Let's join us on the show. Boye Oyerinde is the president of the Nigeria Squash Federation. Greetings to you. First, let me say Happy New Year to you. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So let's just talk about the year gone by, 2020, severely affected by COVID-19. I want to ask you, before you unveil your plans for 2021, how was 2020 like, the unique challenge posed by COVID-19 doing sports in a year like that? How was it? How was the experience for your federation?
Well, it was really bad in the sense that none of our programs could be carried out. You know, we had programs planned for 2020, starting with the National Sports Festival. Then we had PSA tournaments planned for Asaba, and then we were hoping to build on what we had in 2019. 2019 was a remarkable year for us, and because we were able to host 7 PSA tournaments, which is the first time we've had that in Nigeria, and we planned actually in 2020 to top that, going from 7 tournaments to about 12 tournaments across the country. Unfortunately, COVID came, and we had to shelve everything, more or less. Players couldn't train because of the lockdown. They're not match fit anymore. And we couldn't also actualize the developmental programs we've planned. So 2020, I think, affected everybody the same. Globally, yes, the Professional Squash Association and the WSF they were able to start some tournaments across globally towards the end of the year in the last quarter. But it's really not the same, where you have tournaments without viewers, no spectators. And it was quite restrictive. Players couldn't contact on courts. Nobody could be called in to clean the courts during play. The players had to do all that themselves. It was a tough protocol. And it wasn't something we could handle in Nigeria, because players had to test almost every day. And you know the cost of that in Nigeria. So it wasn't a very good year. But we thank God all the same, we're alive. And this is 2021. And we hope it will be a much better year.
All right, let's talk about 2021. Even though there's this talk about second wave, and we're seeing the signs all over the globe, a lot of sporting federations are optimistic. They're working under the assumption that 2021 would not be severely affected like 2020 was. So let's just work on that assumption and talk about your plans for 2021.
Well, we're towing the lines of other federations. We're just making our own plans as well, quietly, with the clause tentative on it, because we don't know what the second wave would bring. But the reports right now coming out of Nigeria is not so good. I'm sure we've lost quite a few people, and events are advised to be cancelled. But we don't know how that is going to play out just yet. But in terms of 2021, just like everybody else, we're making our own plans as well, quietly. We have tournaments coming up. The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports is hosting one in Abuja between the 18th and 24th of January, which is the Awesome Games coming up in Abuja. Squash is part of that. and we're working with the team to see how that would happen in Abuja. Apart from that, we also have PSA tournaments, the postponed tournaments in 2020. We're hoping that these will come up this year. The dates are yet to be fixed, apart from those ones that are coming up in during the holidays. But for now, they're still tentative. But we have quite a few tournaments lined up. We have tournaments in Asaba, the Ogun State tournament, Olusegun Obasanjo, the third one. And then we hope that all the other PSA tournaments that we host on an annual basis will also come up. Apart from that, we also have our development programs. If you recall, in 2019, we were able to hand out kits to 19 states. There are 17 states, sorry. We hope to be able to do the remaining 20 states for development. Once we have the all clear to host such events, we have sponsors who are willing to provide those kits for us now. And, hopefully that will come to pass. And once we're done with that as well, we hope to be able to continue with our training programs for our coaches and our referees, as well as really start working with the schools this year, pandemic permitting, I would say. I think the biggest one is the last event in the year, which comes up in New Zealand, the Men's World Team Championship. If we're able to get our team together to train, like we did in 2019 when we went for the Men's World Team Championship in Washington, D.C., we hope to be able to put up an appearance there as well, and a very good one this time around.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong. There's this challenge that sports like yours face in these parts, not globally, but in these parts. Some see this sporting events like leisure. You know, some even tend to think it's elitist in a way. So how do you handle that in these parts to make people believe, look, this is a sport that could be done professionally, you can earn a living from it. It's not just for leisure, it's not an elitist sport, it's supposed to be an all-comers affair. How do you handle such a challenge?
That's a question we've had to deal with over and over. People think squash is elitist in the sense that, one, it is not a very popular sport. In the sense that you wouldn't know there's a squash court in a particular location unless you know the game. And it's not peculiar to Nigeria. I've traveled outside the country, even in the United States, where one of the immigration officers asked me, what do I have in my bag? And I said, I have my squash kit. He said, squash? He thought I was talking about squash drink. Meanwhile, I was talking about my squash kit. So it's not peculiar to Nigeria. But what we have tried to do is to be more visible, to get people more educated about the game, to get people to know more about what we're doing. And that's why we try as much as possible to publicize our activities. We're heavily on social media, which is one of the cheapest means of communication right now, especially now with the pandemic making it the new normal. We're hoping that we'll have more visitors to our website and basically communicate more and get the word out there. We're also taking it to schools, and we're trying to see how much we can support them in terms of, one of the reasons I'll tell you why a lot of people say it is elitist is because when you need to play squash and you're buying a squash racket for 20,000, 30,000 naira, you buy one squash ball for 2,000 naira. You need a squash court to play, and squash courts are not the same as when you need to play football or table tennis. You know, if you don't know, if you want to play table tennis, all you need is a flat surface. You can put even a wooden stick across a table and you have your fun. It's not the same with squash. You need a squash court, and it costs quite a lot to build one. And fortunately for us in Lagos State, we have many. Across the country, we also have squash courts all over. We have in Abuja, we have in Kaduna, we have in all zones of the country, all states across the country. Not all states, sorry. Not all states have squash courts, but we do have enough for to get people involved. But what we want to do is to, and we're working seriously on that, is to be able to point out to anybody who would like to play squash, all available squash courts across the country. And we're building that database. We've been on it. Hopefully we'll have that concluded soon. And in the last couple of years, we've also had a wave of renovations. We have a lot of squash courts being renovated, new ones being built. We're also discovering squash courts that have been there that we didn't know about, which is really good for us. So we're trying to bring the message home, let everybody know that squash is open to everyone, old, young, elite, non-elite, and like you rightly said, for the first time in 2019, squash actually had a prize money of $1 million. So people can earn a living playing squash if they play at that level.
All right, let's also talk about the players, the key actors in everything. So what can you say about welfare of, because that's also what the young ones these days tend to look at. Aside passion, a lot of people, if I do this sports, can I make it? Can I feed my family? Can I make ends meet? And, you know, those are the questions, because it's not just passion. Even passion is very, very important. So talking about welfare, you know, I mean, how well are the players, to the best of your knowledge, being taken care of and encouraged to, you know, love the sports, play the sport to the highest level?
Well, that's a good one. There are two ways to look at this. Number one, we have the players who are the upcoming players who are playing for their different states, their different clubs, and we encourage the states to do as best as they can for these players. For the clubs also, we have the stakeholders are really, really doing their bit. That I can see in the last couple of years, where we have our professionals, ex-professionals, both local and in diaspora, also contributing a lot. We have stakeholders putting in a lot for the players, providing them with kits, providing them with stipends. That's for the regular day-to-day players and the upcoming ones. Now for the elite players, the only way they can get the kind of funding required is for them to win money at competitions. In the past, we used to hold top dollar competitions, very few, $30,000, $40,000 competitions, such as the Lagos State Classic, the Chamberlain Open. And what we found was mostly our players don't benefit from it. The money ends up going to higher ranked players coming into the country for the competition. So what we did is we went back to the drawing board, and we're now playing at the lower level closed satellite tournaments. And like I mentioned earlier, last year alone we had, for the closed satellite tournaments alone, where players could earn ranking points locally as well as earn income. We had 7 of them. To you, that might be very few, but in a country where we have never had that before, and that's minus club competitions that are not ranking tournaments, that are not international ranking tournaments. So the elite players are able to earn while playing the game they love. And that was a start for us. And like I mentioned earlier as well, we were hoping to leverage on what we did last year, get all the promoters who sponsored the tournaments last year to repeat this year by holding club tournaments. And in 2020, unfortunately, that didn't happen. We're hoping that that would happen this year, so that we can get the players earning their living.
All right, before we let you go, we know you're a very busy man. On a scale of 1 to 10,
yes,
if you can measure the growth of the game since you guys came on board, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would the number be?
On a scale of 1 to 10, when we picked up the game, let's say we were at 0 because nothing was really happening. Right now, we would say 7.
Okay. All right. That's a good place to leave it tonight. Hopefully we'll have this conversation again, but we have to let you go now. But I want to thank you for your time on the show. We'll do this again some other time. All right?
Thank you very much. And Happy New Year once again.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well. So we'll be speaking with Boye Oyeride, president of the Nigeria Squash Federation. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, Shewa Jinegwe is still with me. I will talk everything football, all for you. Join us again. All right, welcome back. Let's go on and talk about the WAFU Under 17 Championship. Like I said, I still have Sheun with me. Let's show you what's going to happen tomorrow with regards to the Under 17 WAFU tournament. It's no longer news. We lost to Cote d'Ivoire in our first game. And we're now in a situation where we have to beat Ghana. There is no margin for error. Sure, I know we're always quick to tell ourselves it's age grade, it's developmental, but it shouldn't get to the point where we can't even get out of WAFU.
Okay, so it's looking like what happened at under 20, but the difference was that when we played Cote d'Ivoire first, we drew against Cote d'Ivoire after going ahead. But this one, we considered the goal 14 minutes to the end of the game, and I listened to the president of the Federation, Amajima Pinnick, talk to the boys and tell them they must get a result. Yes, it's developmental, but hey, forget about tactics for now, which has caused a whole lot of ruckus in the social space, and then just get the result. Whether we're going to get it against the Ghanaians, who are one of our arch rivals, remains to be seen. But it's unfortunate that things are going south for us. Male and female for Olympics, not there.
Yeah.
Under 20, not anywhere. We can't qualify for the Nations Cup. And this is even like a qualifier for the Nations Cup. So it's sad. I hope they can get a result tomorrow. I hope the guys can bounce back, because Fatah Mawu said one of the reasons they lost was because they were jittery. They've never been in that stage before. And I keep asking the question, where is the role of psychology? I mean, sport and exercise psychology. We keep talking about this thing that, you
have to fill up your backroom stuff with the people
because they need to,
who have reason to be there.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like I said, I keep talking about my project topic at MSc level, which was psychological implication of age falsification on transitional growth of football development in Nigeria. And my case study was all the age grade tournament. Case in point, under 17, we are the most successful, won it 5 times. But the sad thing, is that from under 17 to under 20, it's just a space of 2 years.
Yeah.
And our biggest achievement at under 20 level was to get to the final in 1989 and in 2005. We have not even won it before. So what has happened at that?
Within the space of 2 years. It's a sad story. Hopefully things will change. We get to do the right things.
But again, you have to also hit Caf on this stick on the head. This format is a targeted ploy.
Obvious. It's
at
obvious.
West African teams.
Just cancel yourselves out.
Cancel yourself out. So
because usually at the end of the day, it might be 3 West African teams that will pick the available slots. So that is a valid point. But it doesn't absolve us of the things that we're not doing right. In this place. Even though CAF do deserve their knocks, like Sheun rightly pointed out. All right, let's come now and talk about the Caf Confederation Cup. That's our next stop on the show. Of course, it's no longer news. The Aba Elephants, AIMA, dropped down into the Caf Confederation Cup. And just while we were thinking, well, yeah, with the good result that Rivers United had, first leg against Bloemfontein Celtics, hopefully we're going to have 2 teams in the final qualifying round, and hopefully 2 of them will make it to the group stage. Our hopes getting dashed right about now, because after the draws, it shows that the Aba Elephants, 2-time African champions, would face whoever wins between Bloemfontein Celtic and Rivers. If it turns out to be Rivers United, like we all expect, it means one Nigerian team will also have to miss out on the group stage.
I'm very excited that at the end of the day, CAF did not come up with a decision that
to just
awarded
award
it to Bloemfontein Celtic at the expense of Rivers United, who had done the job from the first. So we are still waiting for the neighboring country that will allow us, that have little or less COVID-19 protocol restrictions. So, but from this position, Yemi, there is an Aba romance on February 14th.
Yeah.
It's going to be Eyimba and Rivers United.
Wow.
I'm coming out
straight up. You don't see Bloemfontein.
No. Job has been done from the first leg.
Yeah.
They need to beat Rivers United 3-0 or 2-0 to take it into penalties. And based on the job Rivers United have done from the first leg, they look like a team that have been well bolstered in terms of their squad.
Yeah.
So it's going to be first leg Eyimba against Rivers United in Port Harcourt. I beg your pardon, on February 14th, and on the 21st.
So it's not Bloemfontein, it's Port Harcourt.
Good night, Bloemfontein. Good night, Bloemfontein.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Bloemfontein. But again, Yemi, you can argue for or against that we would have loved to see two of our teams in the final group stage.
Yes.
But it has its own side also.
Yeah.
Why am I saying this? In 2009, if my memory serves me right, there was Heartland against Kano Pillars in the semi-final of the Caf Champions League, which Heartland prevailing to the final. So in this case now, you could say if they had separated any of these two teams, maybe we would have had the two of them in the final, and the two of them could have also been
gone all the way.
So one thing is sure, we might have one Nigerian team.
We will have one Nigerian. We will. It's not, we will, surely. But it's just painful.
It's very painful. But again, Yemi, I was ruminating. There's going to be a bigger fight because I love to see the Eyimba Rivers United because it's going to be fight, I mean, all the way. Fight in the sense that, don't forget that Rivers United still feel gutted that they should have been
the ones in the Champions League.
All right. Okay. So they will now finally settle it.
All of that will be settled.
And just imagine that Eyimba now knocked out Rivers United.
Oh, no, the talk should not end. All right. So to get some perspective on all of these things that we've discussed, let's link up with the coach of the Aba Elephants, Fatai Osho. He joins us now on the show. Good evening, Coach. It's nice to
good evening.
Hear your voice. And let's talk about this situation that has been thrown into our hands. Eyimba in the final qualifying round of the Caf Confederation Cup will face either Bloemfontein Celtics or Rivers United. Let me ask, do you have a preference?
It's quite a funny scenario we find ourselves, honestly. As a Nigerian, I would love Rivers United to qualify, honestly. I mean, we need to really do well at that level of football. We might be losing slots. I mean, we have to get our 50 group stages to secure our, our slots. But as a Nigerian, I would prefer Rivers United, regardless of whatever. It's better they are there.
Okay, so you have a preference. It has to be Rivers United over Bloemfontein Celtics. But when they cross that hurdle,
every Nigerian will think that way.
Yeah, when they cross that hurdle, they're going to come against your team.
Oh yes, and it's not really a good thing. I remember last year, Eyimba and Rangers International, we are the one at the group stage of this particular competition. And we are able to get to that quarter final. I mean, Rangers did their best also, but they were not that lucky to get to the quarter final. Unfortunately, it could have been better if Eyimba to make it to the group stage. And we see how the Rivers United against them in another group. That could have been better. But then, it's like we are canceling ourselves out, unfortunately. And it's not for our own making, but what can we do?
Okay. So let's talk about the situation that made you guys be playing in the Caf Confederation Cup. The game against El Merreikh in Sudan, a lot of people have said a whole lot of different things. Now the world is listening to you. You have the opportunity to correct whatever wrong impression that we have. What happened? What happened on that day? You considered 3 goals. It wasn't even the margin. It was the way the team played, and a lot of people were not happy.
If you see the way the team played, I will beg to disagree to some extent. We play very well, but then if you look at the football match, we didn't do anything. Looking at the way we play, throughout the whole game, we are the one in control, and unfortunately, we consider those goals. They look elementary to some extent. A top team like us, we have no business considering such shit goals. We press to kill in the same fashion, and we try and look at what could have gone on. Along the line, personally, I discovered that there could be a communication issue also. We have a central defender that plays the Super Eagles of Nigeria this year from Benenoa. Speak French, and his partner is somebody we took from Wiki Tourist in the north. And that is more fluent in Hausa, and I think it's more like a communication point also. These are things they can easily talk to each other. You pick him up, let me do that, and they tidy it up just like that. And when they are talking, and it's quite difficult for the other one to decide what the other one is. I mean, what's saying it becomes a problem. Communication is very essential in sport, not just football. And I think that was the genesis of the whole problem. I mean, they were not that tight. You need to see. I'm sure you saw the clip.
Yeah, I did.
That guy was let loose twice like that, repeatedly, and it was. I mean, we were completely punished.
All right. Okay.
Unfortunate, but in terms of play, I mean, we are the one actually doing the playing, but at the end of the day, the result does not suggest that.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. The viewers, everybody saw the clip, so they'll make up their own mind. But it's good that we've heard your side of the story, and you've given us an explanation. As we look forward to the final qualifying round, should the fans be assured that whatever needs to be sorted out from the coaching angle, from the playing personnel, that it has been sorted out right now?
If you look at the second leg against America, it's just unfortunate the way we couldn't really. Yeah. And I would say we are not comforting the chances. I mean, when you had 19 shot at goal, and more than half of it was on target, and you scored 2, I mean, it's not really a bad return. What we have to look at is the performance of the Emery goalkeeper, the national team goalkeeper of this country. He did excellently well. He was the one that single-handedly kept that team in the game. I mean, for those who watch the match, I mean, for some time, for minutes, the ball does not even get close to our goalkeeper. In 90 minutes, we have 3 goalkeepers. 90 minutes, 3 goalkeepers from our own end. I mean, this idea will tell you a lot, and we did very well. But along the line, unfortunately, this Yimba, I mean, the followership is massive. Those who are inside our stadium, they got impatient, and they were shouting, the ball have to go forward, and we digress to some extent from the way we play our football, and that really was a sort of concern to me. Because I believe if you have to play, I mean, walk any road after that, it's easier than walking a road you are not used to.
Yeah.
So if you stand a chance of winning any football match, it's better you play the way you train.
Yeah.
But that second half, everybody ran out of patience, and every time we tried to put these passes together, there was a lot of noise.
Okay.
The ball. I mean, when you start doing that, you become predictable and you can't hurt your opponent.
All
Unfortunately, that actually
contributed
to some extent helped the Sudanese to curtail whatever we are throwing at them. And if we were a bit patient, I think we could have been the result could have been much more better. But this thing, the followers is the passion. You can't just sometimes you want to do the right thing, but you might not be able to do the right thing.
Okay, Coach, before we let you go, AIBA International has never won this competition before, even though some will call it the second tier, but nonetheless, the Aba Elephants have not won this. Now you have the opportunity. The team has got to the semi-final of this competition before, yeah, if my memory serves me right. So how far do you think your team can go now that you have a second chance in a CAF club competition?
No, yes. The last time I was with him, last year I took the team to the quarterfinal, and if there's anything that will show a kind of improvement on my part is to surpass that. And surpassing it does not really mean a semi-final position. You have to play all the way. And you ask all the teams that are left in this particular competition, they will tell you the same thing. They want to win it. And in any competition I go to, I mean, forget about it, no matter how small, the aim is to win. You must be mentally tough to get this thing done. If you say, okay, you don't want to win it, somebody else pick up and win it. Then why are you taking yourself out? I mean, I don't see that we try our best to get it done. But at the end of the day, of all the 16, the only one who is going with the trophy.
All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it. Coach Fatai, I sure want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. Wish you all the best with the Aba Elephants. Hopefully, next time we're having a conversation, it will be to celebrate a victory for the team.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, so we're speaking with Coach Fatai Osho, the coach of the Aba Elephants, talking about Eyimba. So you listen to him. I don't know if you want to react quickly.
Just one thing I just want to say. I like to see Chief Fellow High return back to his former employers. I like to see Ifeanyi and Nemina return to his former employers. And some of the good guys that they have in Rivers United, the likes of Fortune Omoniwari, the likes of Godwin Aguda. It's going to be very interesting to see Stanley Eguma, the oldest manager in the MPFL, face Fatai Osho.
Oh, it's going to be very interesting. All right, let's talk about the CAF Champions League quickly. Let's take a look at the groups. Well, we have no dog in the fight, so we can be very objective with this one. No Nigerian team in there. So we'll start with Group A. Al Ahly in Group A, AS Vita Club of Congo, DR, Simba, El Merreikh in that one. Should I allow you pick teams you think will qualify? Okay, maybe
just very quickly, Al Ahly and AS Vita Club. Simba will try their best.
Your call.
That's my call.
Okay, Group B. Let's do Group B quickly. Sean has told us what he thinks will happen in Group. Okay, Group B, TP Mazembe, Mamelodi Sundowns, Al Hilal, and Belouizdad of Algeria.
TP Mazembe, Mamelodi Sundowns.
With a straight face, okay. All right, let's go to Group C. Wydad Casablanca from Morocco, Oroya AC from Guinea. You have Petro Atletico from Angola, Kaiser Chiefs from South Africa. That's some sentimental reasons to support Kaiser Chiefs, you know why. But your call.
Kaiser Chiefs are not doing well in South African League, but I'll just go straight for Wydad Casablanca and Royal of Guinea.
Okay, all right. Last group. Let's see. Last group, Esperance of Tunis, Zamalek of Egypt, and you also have Mouloudia Club from Algiers, they're from Algeria, and another club from Senegal.
Algeria, Senegal, thanks for coming. Esperance and Zamalek to
Tunisia
go to
and Egypt all the way. Okay, all right, that's it. Shewa has made his call. We're going to leave it at that. When Esty comes, if he's right, we'll let him know. If he's not, he's going to eat the humble pie. That's what we usually do on this show. So let's leave the little matter of CAF club competitions. Come home now. Talk about what's happening in the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's take a look at the fixtures now. And Shewa's going to tell me what he thinks will happen.
MFM to beat Sunshine.
Straight away.
Straight away.
In the Southwest Derby. Okay.
Yeah. Katsina to beat Adamawa.
Okay. Okay.
Nasarawa and Kano Pillars to end in a draw.
Ends in a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't forget, I was this same Nasarawa that ended the 12-year home of Kano Pillars.
Sure.
But they are playing some good football.
All right.
Plateau United.
And the Heartland.
Yeah. Plateau United will get their first victory. Heartland are in a bad state, psychologically and all otherwise.
Even the coach,
everything, the news we are hearing. So that's it. Eyimba will beat Wiki.
Straight. Okay.
Rivers United will beat Kwara United.
Okay, all right. Aqua United, Abia Warriors.
Yes, the losing
Something
run.
in midterms is going to be a stalemate.
No, Aqua United will beat Abia Warriors.
Okay. You're giving it to the own teams. I'm seeing a pattern.
And Jigawa Golden Stars against Rangers. Rangers to get an away victory.
Okay, Rangers get a. Okay, let's see. I think there should be 2 more. Okay. FC Ifeanyi Dakada, Lobby Stars, Warri Wolves. Your take?
Ifeanyi to beat Dakada and Lobby to beat Warri Wolves.
Okay, all right. So that's it. Match day 3 fixtures. So we need to go on a break right about now. When we come back from that break, there's still some more for you on Sports Tonight. Just again. All right, welcome back. Let's go to the United Kingdom now and talk about the FA Cup. It's part of a rise in COVID-19 cases. Some of these games, one way or the other, still going on. And situation report for you right now in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Aston Villa and Liverpool. Well, I could be forgiven if I thought that Liverpool would steamroll their opponents, but it's not happening at the moment. It's still 1-1. And Wolverhampton Wanderers and Crystal Palace. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Nuno Espirito's side, leading by a lone goal. Sheung, I want to get your thoughts, especially if you consider what Aston Villa has been going through. I didn't check the team list, but I thought they were going to play with a lot of the under-23 side. Under-23
sides and some under-18 boys. No even Dean Smith.
Yeah.
No John Terry is assistant. COVID. So everybody is... So I expect that, yes, Liverpool, no matter the team that they feel, they'll still put in some 1 or 2 that they should be able to get a result over Aston Villa. Easily. Don't forget that when Aston Villa made them the league, they annihilated them, beating them by 7-2. But like we always say, it's a cup game that upsets are bound to happen. Yeah. So I will not be surprised if Aston Villa beats Liverpool. Wolves against Crystal Palace. I was listening to Christian Benteke saying, hey, they need to get out of this 3rd round and move into the 4th round. But things are not working for them at the Molineux. Nuno Espirito Santos men still leading them, but like we say, anything is capable of happening.
All right. Early moments in the 2nd half, I think, in this game currently, as we speak. What changes do you think we're going to see? I don't know why I feel Liverpool will win theirs, and I have a feeling Wolves as well. But I want to get your own thoughts.
If Liverpool wins, nobody will bat an eyelid. They feel that Liverpool should beat Aston Villa.
Beating Aston Villa,
on the problem.
Current situation.
Yeah. And if Wolves beat Crystal Palace, I will not be surprised. But hey, Roy Hodgson too can spring up a surprise against Nuno's men. Like we say, anything can still happen in the... And you know some of these coaches, what they do is, they still keep some Arsenals on the bench. I mean, some good guys that can come in and then be a game changer. So let's see what happens at the end of the day. Hey, Eberechi Eze, I don't know if he's starting. They still got Wilfred Zaha and all of them, and Christian Benteke. So let's see what happens at the end of the day.
Okay, let's see what happens at the end of the day. Let's see some other fixtures, matches to be played over the weekend. We're going to run through them quickly. Most of the top sides still in it. They're in action. So let's run through it. Stoke City up against Rotherham United.
Everton against Rotherham. Everton to win. West Brom will beat Blackpool.
Okay.
Bristol Rovers against Sheffield United. Chris Wilder should be able to get the result.
Oh hell, something else will happen. Okay, so...
this one is Burnley against MK Dons.
MK Dons.
Burnley should beat MK Dons. QPR against Fulham. I think Fulham should be winning against QPR.
Should be.
Yeah.
That's the right word. Should be. Yeah, this was the one I wanted to talk about. Stoke City
against Leicester. Yeah, Battle of Nigerians. John Obi Mikel.
If he gets to play.
And of course, for Leicester, we have Wilfred Ndidi and of course, Kelechi Iheanacho.
Arsenal and Newcastle. Arsenal on the rise.
Arsenal on the rise, defending champion.
For Newcastle, their manager is currently not interested in football as we speak because he says games should not be played
at all because of...
I wonder if his mind is going to be in this game.
I think he should still put up a side that can get the result against Arsenal.
He should?
Yeah.
Okay.
He should get a result against Arsenal.
All right, so Manchester United, Watford, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Gallo is going to get his space on the bench.
Solskjaer is not a serious person. You know, I always tell you, Yemi, that when he's at Old Trafford, that thing he watches, don't think he's watching the game. He's watching cartoon. And you now say you are going to put the Gallo on the... He has done a lot of disservice to Odion Gallo.
Yes.
Because if you watch his goal per game ratio and then you now give people like Martial, who keeps wearing gloves like somebody who is in winter, He's got just 2 goals in like 16 games in the English Premier League. You give them preference that, oh, so they'll still come out good, but you froze out Odion Ighalo. He said he's going to be on the bench, that it would be good to play against his former club. And I'd like to see William Troost-Ekong, because the coach of Watford, Munoz, has told the boys to go and play like animals at Old Trafford.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens
at the end of the day.
In that one.
But I expect United to get results.
Chelsea, with all their troubles, currently playing against Morecambe, what do you think is going to happen in that one?
Yemi?
Should we even be talking about this?
Okay.
I don't think we should be talking about it. Should be victory for Chelsea, but straight things always happen in the FA Cup.
Okay. Mr. Frank Lampard, let this strange thing happen. Know that the person you are working with
is trigger happy.
His sack letter is usually in his pocket.
It's written.
You
and
just
signed.
sign it and give it to you. Morecambe.
All right, Crawley Town up against Leeds United.
Leeds will beat them.
Okay, straight away. Manchester City up against Birmingham City.
It's a battle of 2 cities, but City is a bigger city.
Okay, City is a bigger city. Then the last one involving the
Marine, an 8-year team against Tottenham.
Against Tottenham. Tottenham can be very ruthless.
Jose Mourinho will feed everybody. You see Steven
Harry
Bergwijn, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Ndombele, everybody.
Loris, everyone's going to play.
Against these hapless guys.
Okay, so Newport County up against Brighton.
I expect Brighton to win.
Okay, Stockport County up against West Ham.
Hey, West Ham should be winning that. Even when we hear that Sebastian Haller is on his way to Ajax. So I think David Moyes should be getting results against Stockport County.
All right, it appears like you've all the Premier League teams, you've straight away given victories to them. But let's not forget it's FA Cup.
It's FA Cup, filled with upsets.
Yeah.
But I expect them
to go through.
To go through.
At least in the third round.
Based on the pedigree that they have and based on the personnel that they also have. But these small teams, they always use this opportunity to rub shoulders with the big boys.
All right. I got a minute or two left. Maybe we should talk about Arsenal. We'll get to see their training shortly. It's the manager says we're going to clear shop. It's going to be a clear out.
Yeah.
And Ozil is free to talk to anybody. You think the manager has handled everything as we go, because we're pressed for time? You think he's handled everything and things are going in the right direction now?
He's doing it the way they want him to do it.
Okay.
The board wants him to do
this
it this
is where
way.
We are going. Just go there.
Just go there. The clear-out has started now. Sid Kolasinac has gone to Schalke. Socrates Papastapopoulos
is on his way to Syria.
Yeah. Saliba and Ozil almost concluded to join Fenerbahce. So it's good that they've turned things around. And now, from the mocking Arsenal, now we are talking about Chelsea, who has spent 220 million
just
pounds.
Within a week.
That's how life is. That's what the Premier League is all about now.
Oh, Lord. Okay, we've crossed the finish line, and it's a wrap on the show tonight. And so that's it. But first, I want to thank Sean. It's always good having you with me. We'll do this again some other time.
Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We appreciate the fact that we entered into your living room without knocking. It's a privilege we'll never take for granted on this show. It's the last edition for the week. We're back here again next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.